Olá pessoal, bom dia, bem-vindo a mais uma Masterclass, a mais uma atividade aí da Brave para vocês, o primeiro envio online, o primeiro encontro nacional de violistas online. Essa é a última atividade educativa aí, acadêmica, né, do encontro. Aí hoje à tarde teremos a assembleia para os associados adimplentes, né, a eleição, enfim. Mas agora pela manhã é a última Masterclass. O professor Marco Cato está aqui, ele vai fazer a tradução para o primeiro, a primeira pessoa que vai tocar, uma tradução em voz, depois a gente volta para a tradução no chat. Lembrando mais uma vez, dá um joinha aí, se inscreve no nosso canal, associe-se à Brave, não é isso, Marquinho? Porque é com essas associações que a gente tem esses encontros, enfim, né, tem dado apoio aí para a Brave.
Isso, bom dia a todos. Só lembrando também que a lista de presentes eu estou colocando aqui de vez em quando. Você tem que clicar, preencher o formulário rapidinho, é só colocar o nome, e-mail, telefone. Depois a gente vai dando o ok lá.
Tá. O pessoal suplente que tiver online aí, fica sempre alerta que se der algum problema técnico aqui, a gente chama um de vocês. Agora são dois, né? Acho que é o Gabriel e esqueci mais alguém agora, não está aqui na minha cabeça. Mas fiquem alerta, qualquer coisa a gente chama vocês. Então vou trazer agora aqui para a aula, para o Masterclass, a professora Lauren Hodges, que é professora da Universidade da Flórida, enfim, estudou na Juilliard, tem uma carreira por ali. Eu conheço ela há alguns anos já, porque ela deu aula próximo de onde eu estudava, fazia meu doutorado, enfim, a gente teve contatos lá. Uma super professora, assim, vocês vão gostar. Então, com vocês, Lauren Hodges. Aqui. Hi, Lauren.
Hello.
Welcome. And I'm going to be on the backstage, just controlling everything, coordinating everything. Okay. And I bring now Melk, that's his name, to play the Hindemith.
Great.
Ok. Melk, bom dia, bem-vindo.
Bom dia.
Estamos aí. Vai ficar o Marco Cato para traduzir para você e para ela, tá bem?
Tá certo.
Então, boa sorte para você. Good luck. See you soon.
Good job. You know, you're playing it really, really, really well. It seems to me a little bit fast. You know, the indication here is bright or broad, and Hindemith himself recommended the 52 to 54 metronome marking for the quarter note. just in the opening. Do you have a metronome there just to check it?
Mel, ela falou que tá muito bom, tocou muito bem, e ela acha que tá um pouquinho rápido. A indicação metronômica é de 52, 54, e ela diz que tá escrito bright and broad, que é brilhante, mas amplo, né? Não é nada, não tem uma indicação que seja tão rápido. Ela perguntou se você tem algum metrônomo para checar o andamento aí na sua mão.
Agora, no momento, não. Eu até esqueci de trazer.
He does not have a metronome.
Mas posso baixar aqui, rápido.
I can check for you. Eu posso colocar um 52. This is 52.
Right, wait. So quarter, quarter, quarter. It's a little bit slower, and those first three chords are like columns of sound. They should provide the harmonic organization and kind of the main theme for the motive. And every time we have that 3/4 note figure, we return a tempo to this same slow, broad, drawn-out tempo. Can you try the first three chords at that speed?
Então, ela falou que as semínimas iniciais, né, elas vão definir não só o tema, mas a estrutura harmônica da peça, né? Então, ela precisa ser muito organizada e calma, né, para a gente sentir esse tempo. Pedir para você tocar o começo mais uma vez. Só esse comecinho.
Yeah, better. So very, very tenuto and equal. So they're all equal importance. And as much as you can, get all three strings at once.
Isso ela falou que foi bem melhor. E ela falou para tentar fazer bem tenuto. E o máximo que você puder tocar as 3 cordas simultâneas.
Can I hear you also play the bottom notes only to make sure that the bass notes are occurring on the beat? So play only the bottom notes one time.
Isso, pediu para você tocar só a nota grave dos acordes, para sentir se a nota grave está na batida do metrônomo.
Right, and as long as tenuto as possible, very, think about flattening out your knuckles a little bit so that the hair is flat instead of angled. So flat hair. And then when you play all three, you can aim for the middle string. You can try this on open strings first. So you're trying to pull all 3 strings at once. And then just add the left hand.
Isso, ela pediu para você ver se consegue usar mais crina, né? Ou um arco mais chapado, assim. E para pegar sempre simultâneo e o mais tenuto possível.
Right. So just as long and broad as possible. Don't make a break between each.
O mais longo e amplo possível, sem ter interrupção entre elas.
Right. And then when you switch to the 8th note rhythms, make sure there's a clear difference between 2 8s, 2 8s, triplet. Not too much rubato, not too free with it, so that we still understand the rhythm.
Isso, ela falou quando você muda para as concheias e as tercinas, para manter bem correto, né, a subdivisão, para ter uma diferença entre cada uma, né? Não usar muito rubato.
it's good. So every time that 3-note motive comes back, we're at this solid, stable, slow tempo, very long, very drawn out. Can I hear measure 11? Maybe, and we're thinking about making the triplets very fat, triplet, triplet, triplet. Sometimes there's a tendency to sound instead of triplet, triplet.
Ela falou que sempre que esses 3 acordes iniciais aparecerem, né, eles são importantes, porque é temático, e pediu para você tocar as tercinas, porque às vezes elas são distorcidas, né, como ela tocou. Então, para ver se ela consegue fazer ela bem correta, né, a subdivisão. Pá, 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 pá.
As tercinas da linha, da segunda linha, é isso?
O passo 11, desculpa, ela falou.
Ah, tá.
Those to me, it just sounds instead of triplet, 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 boom. It loses its depth and its meaning if it goes too much forward, I think.
Isso, ela falou que se você começar já muito rápido, perde o significado, né? A profundidade do significado. Então, para você começar bem subdividido e acelerar só depois.
Yeah, better. You might try practicing it some with separate bows so that you can feel a little bit more resistance between the notes, triplet, 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 and make a longer shape by increasing dynamics more so than really moving forward rhythmically.
Isso, ela falou que já foi bem melhor, e sugestão de estudar com os arcos separados, para você focar não só em acelerar, mas também no crescendo, né, na dinâmica.
Certo. Mais uma vez?
Once more, Lauren?
Okay, I was recommending practicing it once separate bows, but I think you understand the concept. The part where I do think it's fun to roll forward, as in a cadenza, is in the 16th notes before measure 25. That part I think is fine to go forward a little bit each set, but then when we return to da, dee, da, your 3-note motive, we need to be back at 52, not faster. Yeah.
Isso, ela falou que recomendou mais uma vez para estudar separado, mas não precisa fazer agora. E nessa passagem do compasso 25, ela falou que é ok você ir para frente com o andamento, mas na hora que você encontra as 3 semínimas iniciais, você tem que voltar ao metrônomo 52.
Mm-hmm. Another spot where Hindemith provided a metronome marking that he preferred was at measure 21. He recommended 100. So that's kind of the maximum speed there. But then at measure 5, 2, 6, 7, measure 28, it needs to be back to 52.
Isso, então no compasso 21 ele coloca outra indicação de mínimo igual a 100, seria a sua velocidade máxima ali, mas depois ele retoma na metrônomo 52.
Mm-hmm. Could you check 100 for measure 21?
I'll check here. Eu vou colocar o metrônomo aqui 100. This is 100. So measure 21, right?
Measure 21?
compasso 21, Melk. Esse tem. Should he play?
Yes.
Pode tocar.
Deixa eu só olhar aqui que tá bem rabiscado.
21.
É o das fusas, né?
Is this spot?
Yes.
É esse lugar mesmo.
Uhum. Aí.
Does that help to have my part showing? No.
Oh, we could try to share the
Yeah.
score.
It's not that important. I just realized he doesn't have measure numbers, so I did not even know what we were talking about.
Ulisses consegue colocar? I just put.
Right. So you can see the metronome markings and also tempo primo here. Right. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful to see. I have too many windows open on my computer, so I'm a little bit confused here. Okay.
Só para colocar o metrônomo, não consegui instalar aqui.
Não, ela está mostrando aqui a partitura, só para a
Certo.
gente entender.
Uhum.
Okay. So aside from all that tempo stuff, so a little bit slower, a little bit more strict rhythmically when you have the triplets and the 2/8, I really do like how you're letting the 30 seconds roll like ornaments. Da, yada, dee, da, 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 da. I really love that rhythmical character. Aside from that, I do think that you can bring out the expression a little bit more.
Ela falou que... Sorry, just one second. Ela falou que você faz muito bem as fusas, né? A forma como você deixa correr, mas ela ainda insiste nas colcheias, elas precisam ser muito próximas ao tempo, né? Sem mudar muito o andamento.
Yes. And I think listening for expression really helps, again, if you just practice it a little bit more slowly. Going back to the second line, I think the motives that are very expressive are these sighing half-step figures. And then the next bar. I think you could add a little bit more vibrato, singing between the notes. Could you start from measure 6 and just play it a little bit slower and allow that soprano voice to sing?
Isso, ela falou que agora uma coisa que ajudaria também é a expressividade, né? A gente tomar mais cuidado. E principalmente onde tem os semitons, né? Esse cromatismo a partir do compasso 6. Então ela pediu para você tocar uma vez mais lento e usando mais vibrato também, né? Para ajudar na expressividade. E cantando mais a voz aguda desse trecho.
Compasso 6, né?
Isso.
É isso?
Yes, but continue. So this one, and then go on. Oh, why don't you do no chords once and play only the upper voice so you can listen for the line and vibrato?
Isso, ela pediu para você tocar uma vez, continuar tocando, e só a voz superior, a voz aguda, para prestar atenção no vibrato, e um pouco mais lento.
Right. And as you're building, can you try to make the crescendo by more more bow speed, more bow, instead of by going faster rhythmically. So you're starting piano, very small amount of bow. And the next time, a little bit more. And then I'm using almost my whole bow as I get bigger and bigger.
Isso, ela falou que, para você, uma recomendação é construir essa frase, o crescendo, cada vez usando mais velocidade de arco e quantidade de arco, ao invés de acelerar tanto. Dessa forma, construir essa frase. Vou começar com pouco arco e ir usando cada vez mais arco.
Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to keep this vocal singing quality between the notes when we get very busy with the double stops. Something to try. It's kind of hard to do while playing, but if you try singing, it's okay if it makes you mess up, but the idea is to keep breathing and keep a vocal line going while playing. And I demonstrated it because it makes me mess up too, so it's okay.
Ela falou que é bom estudar cantando a voz principal, porque muitas vezes as cordas duplas, elas atrapalham a forma melódica que a gente toca, né, a voz principal. Então, ela falou que é bom estudar cantando essa linha, mesmo que você se atrapalhe um pouco, não tem problema, porque ela mesmo se atrapalha às vezes, mas é muito interessante para você nunca deixar de entender que tem uma voz principal em cima dessas cordas duplas.
Can you try?
Pode tentar uma vez? Singing?
Yes, singing and playing at the same time.
Tocando e cantando a parte aguda. Canta bem alto pra gente ouvir.
Cantar?
Cantar e tocar.
Caramba. Não dá pra cantar.
Só você canta a parte aguda, né? A melodia.
Yes, I think you have the right idea. Sometimes that's easier to do maybe only between 2 or 3 notes if you're trying to connect perhaps yadi, yada, but you're busy with this chord. Yadi, yada. Right, so you can pretend to play several times while singing. Yadi, yada. And it helps you get it a little bit more fluid and flowing when you actually play.
Isso, ela falou que às vezes você pode
2 chords.
Fingir que toca o acorde para facilitar na hora de cantar, porque dentro do acorde tem a nota que é a principal, né, que está na melodia. Então, ela treina assim, tocando sem... cantando, fingindo que está tocando, montando os acordes, mas para conseguir separar na cabeça, né?
So, could you try those 2? That was in measure 8.
Você pode tocar esse compasso 8 dessa forma?
Sim. É o oitavo?
Oh, so I was practicing. Yadi, yada. Right, so you
então,
first time.
Dessa forma que ela fez, a primeira vez sem tocar, só cantando, mas fingindo que está tocando.
Ah.
Yeah, I don't hear you singing, but it does sound more lyrical, so that's good. Okay. I wonder, when do we need to move to the next person, or do we have time to do? Okay, 5 minutes. Can we take a look at measure 18 now? And this is another part where I'd like to hear the melody alone, just to hear how you're singing through the line, and also just if it's in tune with itself. So take away the chords and play only melody, measure 18.
Isso, no compasso de 18, é tocar uma vez sem os acordes, só as melodias.
Uma coisa. Das tecinas também, né? É isso?
Compasso 18, só a melodia, sem os acordes.
Right. Can you go slowly and get it perfectly in tune? I don't like the G sharp, and also here that should sound like a minor minor.
Ela pediu para você tocar mais lento para cuidar da afinação. B sharp, sei. O Si sustenido não está muito bem afinado.
Can I hear you play F sharp, G sharp? G sharp's a little higher. Yeah. And now this measure from make sure that yeah. And just to force you to slow down and listen to the interval between each of the notes, I often like to practice with overlap bowing. So I might take that section this way. You understand?
Desculpa, Mel. Essa relação de nota, né, fazendo a sobreposição de atos, para você poder fazer uma relação entre cada uma das notas.
Right. It's important to slur between so that you listen for the legato. So.
Ok.
Yeah, it's better. Just listen very carefully. So I think my point is just whenever you're playing through these faster passages, spend some time practicing slowly to make sure that the melody is singing from note to note, that you're playing the notated rhythms and that you've really got it beautifully in tune before you get busy adding all the really difficult double stops.
Isso, okay. Para você tocar sempre devagar, para ter certeza que as notas, o legato entre elas, né, tá correto, e que elas cantem realmente na transição de cada uma.
Yeah. Very, very good job. Do you have any questions?
Você tem alguma pergunta? Muito bom. você tocando. Quer saber se tem alguma pergunta?
Não, eu
Okay. Right.
acho que as dificuldades todas já que eu tinha na cabeça, ela já tirou um bocado de dúvida aqui minha. Já estou satisfeito.
Maravilha. He said all the difficulties he had in his mind, you already solved, like with this. You got this. You gave the solution.
Great. It's good to hear you.
Thank you.
Okay, Lauren, let's move on. Marco will go to YouTube now to write the translation. And then your next student is going to be Victor Ribeiro. I hope Victor is here. Let me take Melk out and put Victor in. Uh-oh, Victor's not here. Okay, give me a second. Where is Victor? Let me call him, Lauren, to see why he's not here. He was supposed to.
He chatted something here.
Oh, did he? Okay, let me see if I can see. No, he's not. He went out. Guess he's gonna come in again. Okay. All right. It's going on that camera is not coming in. And I can't put him in because it shows not connected. Again, I guess he needs to connect his camera and mic before he comes in. He's not doing it. Pessoal, aguarde um pouco. Parece que o Victor está tendo problemas com a conexão. Se o Felipe estiver por aí, Felipe, e já quiser entrar, estiver me ouvindo, Felipe. Just a second, Lauren. Let me call someone here. Okay, see if you can get the second one, another one in. That's the thing with the new.
There are always
new normal, right? This new
right.
thing. Yeah, we have to figure out all of this. Are you teaching online, like remote?
Yeah, we use Zoom usually. Most of my private lessons are in person, but we have to do a lot of the studio classes on Zoom. And I have one student that stayed in China, so we do very early in the morning.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna bring in Felipe.
Okay.
Hi. Felipe. I'm gonna let you with Miss Lauren Hodges, okay?
Okay.
I will play the Bartok's concerto, okay?
Okay. Great. Could we work on that? It's such a long movement.
Sure.
Yeah. Are we good with English since the?
Yes, I can understand you now.
Yes. You're doing really well. This is such a difficult movement, and you really have nice facility and a nice tone, as much as I can tell over the over the internet here. I think it's really helpful in the opening to be thinking a half note pulse for phrasing. So I wonder if I could get you to kind of speak the rhythm with da dee da dee da da, ya da dee da da dee, triplet triplet daka dika daka da dika da da, and so forth, so on and so forth. Could you try that just with the opening, almost conducting yourself while you speak it, not with your instrument?
I must speak too?
Yeah, can you put your instrument down and just speak and clap it one time?
Sure. Dum, 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 dum. Dum, 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 dee, dum, dum. Da, dee, dum, dee, ro, dee. Dum, da, dee, dum, ding, da, da, dee, dum, ding, da, da, dee, da, dee, da, dee, da, dee, da, dee, da, dee, 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 ra, ra, dee, 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 da, dee, dee, da, dee, dee, ra, 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 dee, ra, da, dee, dee, da, ra, dee, dee, ra, da, dee, dee, dee.
Yeah, it's good. So you understand the rhythm very well. A lot of times people have trouble switching from quarters to triplets to eighth notes and sixteenths. So you're doing very well with that. A challenge then would be while playing. Can you keep this half note pulse with your feet? So da ya dee da da dum. Ya dum. Try it. See if it helps. As if they're the conductor. you stopped. Make sure that you're feeling bum yum ba ding bum bum. You felt the beat actually on that high A flat instead of before. So ya ba beep ba ba ya ba ba ba. You could just start on measure 4. On the B natural. Right. So even, when you're playing an orchestra, sometimes it's useful to put in the big slashes where the beats are. That's very useful so that you can feel and we're clear about what is on the beat and what's syncopated. Because the bowings get very, very complicated. And I think that even though it is kind of like a cadenza, it loses some of its excitement if we lose track of where the pulse is, right? Because syncopation is exciting if it's fighting against the pulse. And if it just sounds like we move the beat over, we sort of lose that. Something else to think about in the opening, those whole notes, it's easy to go da dee da 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 dum. Wait, dun dun. We want to keep some kind of energy and interest, and we're listening for the orchestra to go boom boom boom. So I think it's nice sometimes to practice also subdivided, maybe. To kind of keep some interest and a longer line through those long notes. Can you try that right at the beginning? Right. And again, it's a little hard to do, but it helps you breathe and also hear the inner subdivision. If you could speak that. So yeah. Sometimes I'm just going because I need to breathe, but see if you can keep that subdivision going while playing the opening.
Okay. With the bow or just ta-ta-ta?
If you could speak ta-ta-ta-ta while playing as printed. Right, okay. Right, good. And this is very, very useful for the main theme later on in the piece, but we might as well do it here as an example. Also, an exercise that I love to help divorce your two hands is to bow on the wrong string while you play the printed fingering. So I might practice. And so the purpose of this is to loosen up any extra tension that's preventing you from vibrating on some notes. And you're also listening for this open ringing sound that you're producing with the bow. Try that just on the opening. Yeah, try to just stay on the C string, but the point is to continue your vibrato. It's mentally hard to do, but into your fingering.
Okay.
Okay. Right. For me, it helps me keep this a little bit more stable so that I'm not chasing my bow around this way, and also helps with releasing left hand tension so that I'm able to vibrate every note. Could you try it one more time? So we want this open ringing sound with no accents or no kind of fluffy sound. And also don't chase with this.
Okay.
Right. Now, can you try it as printed one last time so you can play on the right string? Yeah, and while we're at that exercise, can we skip ahead then to the a tempo, where you have the main theme here, but try the same. It's hard to vibrate through the shift for your pinky. So see if you can keep an open ringing bow sound and vibrate every note a little bit slower. Then it doesn't work anymore when you have to use your C string. But I think that helps a lot to get this shift connected.
Okay.
Right. And the top of the second page, we don't have to do that now, but that's very useful because most of it's on the A string also. It just helps you connect and vibrate through all those shifts. And you can also combine it with that idea of the half note pulse also. If you're singing ya da dee da dum, or you can practice pretend air bow singing it also to get that half note pulse. Okay. I'd like to talk about some other things with you too, so I'll move on from that, but you can really apply those two ideas to any of these lyrical main theme sections. One of my favorite right hand warm-ups for catching the string and getting very clear articulation is where I'm going to get very close to the screen, hopefully, so that you can see if I can silently wiggle the string. I can't get it at a good angle. Let's see if I can wiggle the string back and forth without making a sound. So pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, play. And then pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, play. Pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, play. So it's kind of wiggle, 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 wiggle. And you might do 4 or 6 for each bow. Can you try that just on an open string?
Just a second.
Make sure it's horizontal. So pull, push, not vertical pressure. Yeah. Good. Pull, push, pull, push. Mm-hmm.
Deu pra fazer too?
Uh-huh. Very useful for digging out your up bows. And also, while you're silent, you can kind of do a body scan, make sure that your neck is relaxed, your shoulders are relaxed. You only need that little bit of tug, 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 tug. Tug, tug. Make sure it's horizontal, not vertical pressure. Make sure that you can get if it falls, that probably means that your elbow is too low at the frog. So push, pull, push, pull. You should be able to sit pretty easily and even take your thumb off when you're completely at the frog. Just try on the last up bow there. Make sure your arm goes with you. Right. So the idea is like everything should be pretty flat here when you're at the frog. I wonder if you could look at the precipitato bar and try that exercise between each note. So this will be very slow. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And again, you can use the silence between the notes to completely relax and get everything sitting in the string.
Okay.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Right. And, you know, there, you probably don't need a huge amount of bow because it's a very fast tempo. It's probably enough to use only this much bow. But just something that I noticed is that typically as you approach the frog, there's a little bit of this so that the bow wants to fall, right? So getting comfortable, allowing your elbow to come. I think if you're able to sit with all of your arm weight in the string with no thumb, and silent wiggle.
Oh.
It takes away the fear of the frog. And then just back and forth. So, you know, a little bit in your daily warm-up of just between the last part of the bow, just from the silver to the frog, just a little bit of no thumb.
Okay.
I'm sure you know that one, but just extreme frog and taking your elbow to the new place and thumb off so that you're really sitting your weight in. Can you try that? Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. You only take it off while you're stopped. You can have it back again when you're gonna play.
Okay.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Okay. Can you see my?
Yeah. I can't see your elbow, but I think it's probably too low. Yeah. Yes. Elbow. Yes.
Yeah, so hard.
Yeah. So that's just a tiny little warm up, but I think it'll really help you catch the string in these places. And if your bow can sit comfortably in the string at the frog, it'll make it a lot more comfortable to use the whole length of the bow. If you look over on the second page at, you know, the hard shifting part here. Sorry. That's another one where I would want you to try it slowly to stop and wiggle the string between each note. Could you try that one little excerpt?
not doing this properly, but I need to study this. Okay.
Yeah, you get the idea. If you want my fingering, I do, I sort of creep from third position. So 1, 3, 2, 1, sorry, 2, 3, 1, 1. I just tried to share screen. It might be able, you might be able to see it. Yeah, there you go. So
it is this, right?
Fingering. Yeah. Right. Right. That one, but low practice, make sure that your catch. And as you go to the higher notes, as your string length gets shorter, should you be using a bow that's closer to the bridge or further away?
Closer.
Right. And more bow or less bow?
More bow.
More, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So it's good to know those things. You might start very small. But if you try to use a small amount of bow, it's going to sound very crunchy there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. One last time.
Stopping.
Don't lift it ever. Don't lift the bow off the string ever. So you're practicing kind of on the string martelé. So it has to sit in the string. Don't lift it. Right. And you can really use this exercise to calm down so that your whole body is relaxed, your bow is really catching the string, and you've really heard the intonation before you proceed to the next note. I see we have 5 minutes left, so could we look at this famous part here? I would like to ask you to play the first of each group like this. And I'm kind of pretending to do the left hand between because I want to hear perfect fourth, perfect fourth, perfect fourth.
Okay.
Right. Keep going. Right. So that's just a small example, but you can use that to get this whole passage really well in tune. Even later, you start hearing the half steps. And right, to make sure that all of the E's match between the 3 octaves. And if those perfect fourths are really well in tune, it'll keep you from drifting off pitch when you're doing chromatics. Again, for your bow, it kind of skates. It has a tendency to skate there. And something that's very helpful is if you think of opening, I'm not quite on the camera, opening this hinge.
Mm-hmm.
So that you're doing at a slow tempo, you're doing a little bit of out, in, and it feels crazy and crooked at a slow tempo. So I'm actually thinking out, in, to open the hinge of my elbow. but then at tempo, it's just like a mental direction, and it gives you a little bit more of an articulation. So it's just an intention, but practice it very extreme that way.
Okay. Should I try it?
Very slowly. Right. Make sure that on your up bows, you've gone out enough. Okay. There's a little bit of that direction. Right. Right. Yeah. So that'll help you really catch the strings and get some nice accents there. And you can practice it with all the notes as you did, or just with the, so that you're really hearing the boundaries.
Useful in the other excerpts that you said to me, like that's. It is useful, this kind of thing.
I don't think so. I think the third movement, absolutely. So that in your fast détaché, instead of getting kind of surfacey, if there's a bit of, it's called click. And it really, really makes that really fast, the fast 16th notes very much project. I'm telling you this here because it's in a low register. It's hard to project. And so you need a little bit of this articulation, or else it just sounds muddy. Right.
Okay.
So in those places where you're, you don't want to press to make it louder, you can increase the articulation, and then you'll project as a soloist without actually forcing on your instrument.
Yes, now I understood the logic of it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
No, I guess it will have a lot of work in these 3 things that you said to me, or 4, but it's basic things that I must think about, and okay.
Right. And definitely, we didn't have time to do it just now, but if you do the half note pulse and playing on the wrong string to continue your vibrato and musical line through those lyrical sections, that will really help also.
Okay, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Felipe, obrigado, viu? Parabéns.
Obrigado.
Muito legal. Okay, Lauren, I'm going to bring in Victor.
Okay, he came back.
Yes, he did. Now with video and audio, thankfully. All right.
What are you playing?
I play Prelude from Third Suite.
All right. Very well done. I muted myself during to try to improve connectivity. I heard most of it, so very, very well done. It looks to me like you have the same edition and bowings, Mark. Maybe. I actually, in this movement, I don't actually follow all of them because I think that in some cases, whenever he has, for example, 3 slurred and 1 separate, it kind of makes it funny rhythmically, or it makes accents on the wrong note. So I'd like to suggest a few maybe different bowings to try. There are a lot of places where you can slur 4 notes in a row. For example, starting in measure 21. So instead of only 2 slurred, try starting from the D sharp. And then I do at the end separate on the notes that change. For me, it helps bring out the harmonic change. And then these are interesting because they're different. Again, 4 slur. These are interesting. 4 slur. Interesting. I don't know. Does that make sense? Try it.
I tried it. Is that? No.
No. From the D sharp. 1. Right. The odd thing about this bowing is that it doesn't change exactly on the beat, right? So you still have
Lauren. Hi, Lauren. Sorry. Sometimes your viola is too close to the camera. We can't see the direction that the bow is moving.
Oh, I'm sorry. There. Yeah, that's the right idea. And then whenever it's changing chords, I do always do separate bows there. So on separate, separate. So that's just at the end of each bar where it changes chords. So that's one idea. Another part where I like to do the bowing a little bit more regular is at the bottom of the page at measure 37. So you could try just on open strings first. Up, down, up, down. And then down, up. For me, that's very comfortable. So when it goes to a lower string, it's up, down. And when it goes to an upper string, down, up. Up and up. You can try it if it's comfortable for you. Go for it. I like it because it's kind of following the shape of the bridge. And then in the difficult pedal section, I like doing that with a regular bowing also. So 2 and 2 slur, and it's actually kind of fun to practice it first with only the bass and the alto voice. So you can tune yourself to the open G and really get maximum resonance that way. You can do the fingers for both, but only play. Can you try that once? So only bass and alto. Yeah, go ahead and play the whole passage because it informs how you phrase if you're differentiating between 3 voices there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. So it helps you obey the pedal with the intonation. And also, you know, even if you watch it, if you think about getting your G string, I'm off camera again, getting your G string to vibrate so widely that almost as if you're trying to bump the other strings beside it, right? So really, really drawing out the ring without any vertical pressure. Try it once more because it helps you relax also as you get into the ring. It'll help smooth out those difficult 4th finger shifts. were together in the same room, I might play that then while you do the soprano. But I think that it does crazy noise cancellation things and a delay and all of that. Do you have the ability to just play a drone of a G on your end? Like,
I think not now.
okay. Well, try it later. There's a website called Drone Tone Tool. You can just put on a G really, really loud and then practice the soprano voice only. For now, just for phrasing, can you try only the upper voice? So that would be 1, 2. So play only the soprano. We'll do the fingering that we're going to do in real life.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the right idea. And you would go all the way to the end and resolve it. It's very useful to hear how you might want to phrase it, especially whenever you have ya-da-dum, you could make a hairpin towards, and still be thinking about how much ring can I get from my instrument by the way that you're using your bow. After you practice both of those independently, I like to practice it it becomes sort of a country fiddling thing if you practice it all on double stops. So I would practice. I wasn't totally in tune, but it's really fun if you can just really get as much ring as possible. And it also helps with blocking the left hand. Yeah, I think it helps, especially if you really move your bow and just think ring, 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 ring. Don't be afraid to move your right arm. One of my favorite recordings of this actually is Anargosma, and he really goes in this section. Really, it almost sounds like he's playing that way. It's not that different if you just add in a little bit of string crossings. If you've already practiced it, really getting the instrument to ring on double stops. Can you try that? So maybe one measure of double stop and then switch to string crossings. Anyway, it helps me move my arm if I have a double stop fiddle tune between each measure. Yeah, and I don't know if you were watching with the Bartok lesson a minute ago. One of my favorite things for releasing extra left hand tension and getting the vibrato going is just to play on the wrong string. So you can also practice it with all of the fingering, so play only a G. You can't see my left hand. So I'm sure that, I mean, I'm just playing a G, 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 but trying to keep a ring going and keeping some vibrato and blocking those double stops without any extra tension. Try that one to see if it helps you free up. Right? And now try playing through and just think, keep opening up your arm, keep it ringing, ringing, ringing. Yeah, it's good. It's good. That along with practicing it with only alto, because also just technically, if you're playing a double stop like a third, your whole arm needs to be balanced. Why am I off screen? Okay, needs to be balanced from the upper finger. So I would often practice thirds, finding where should my wrist be. So if I can do a comfortable vibrato with third finger alone, and then add the other voice. So I'm bringing the wrist in and supporting my arm under my fourth finger, and then adding the upper voice to the third. That's one of the reasons why I was telling you to practice alto alone also, so you can get your arm balanced on the upper finger. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Other parts where you could try the 4 slur idea would be measure 62. That's another place where from the C sharp you could try another 4 slur throughout that passage. Same at 64. Same at 66. So that's just another place to apply the same idea. If we still have a second remaining before we need to switch, take a look back now at measure 7. And I wonder if we could bring out the conversational aspect of these sequences a little bit. You hear how there's always sort of an upper voice question and then maybe soprano and alto, and then a lower reply. So we have first, and then the answer. So we can hear almost like terrace dynamics, for lack of a better word, but as we go down the sequence, and try to do something in your timbre to make it feel like two separate people. Perhaps stay more in the upper half for this one. I think I usually echo slightly for the lower voice. Try that, and again, I'm leaving out the yappa papapi, just playing the melodic.
Okay.
and that's the end, right? So even in this part, can you make it a little bit more directional? You're playing very short. Just think of it very singable legato. Yeah, and that's the end. So if you take a tiny bit of time, it would just be on those last few notes. And I think it's nice to practice it with those few notes missing, because those are the ones that are the most important musically. So technically, it's nice if those have some vibrato, and you don't want it to become a rhythmical habit, but sometimes it can help you emphasize it if you practice just those notes with a swing tempo. So perhaps, sorry. It just gives you an extra second to vibrate and lean on those. Try it just on those little fragments. Okay, good. And then try it now, smoothing out the rhythm. I'm just trying to get you to feel land easy on those. So back to regular rhythm, but we still need a tiny bit of tenuto and vibrato on the ones that are melodic. That's maybe a little too much, but also they're not all equal, you know, they're not all equal. It's go to here. Sorry. So doing it some without the extra notes for the phrase also. Try it once. Yeah, it's better. Yeah. All right. It's really nice to hear you. Do you have any questions?
No.
No?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. It's nice to hear you.
Thank
you. Hey, Lauren, great. It's been great. We're loving it. We have Bruno now, but he's having trouble connecting it.
Oh.
We're gonna try and see what happens.
Okay, sure.
Great.
Oh,
Bruno, maybe the image not gonna be as good, but anyway. Bruno, tá ouvindo?
Oi.
Oi. Você.
Estou ouvindo bem.
Tá. Bom, vai dar certo. Você fala inglês? Entende inglês? Eu posso deixar só. Ah, não? Tá bem, eu vou ficar por aqui traduzindo, tá bem?
Ok.
Você vai tocar o Hofmeister, é isso?
Isso, primeira parte do Hofmeister. Eu acho que está tendo um pouco de delay por causa da conexão, mas enfim.
Tá bem, vamos lá.
Ok?
I had muted myself to help with connectivity. Good job. Is that as much as you'd like to play for today?
Parabéns, Bruno. Ela quer saber se você quer tocar só até aí hoje ou se quer tocar mais.
Acho que só até aqui, por conta da conexão e vergonha também, sei lá.
He said we can work until this part.
Sure.
But the connection is not so good, so he doesn't know. And
Yeah.
he's a bit ashamed.
Oh no, it's very good. You know, I think that you could enjoy the ring of the instrument as a way to help you relax more, because if you really love the sound that you're producing on every single note, it just helps your whole body relax into the sound, you know?
Ela falou que estava muito bom, você não tem que se preocupar, e ela acha que você pode apreciar mais a vibração de cada nota no instrumento, para você relaxar até o seu, como um todo, o seu corpo, né? Então, você tocar mais relaxado para aproveitar realmente essa vibração.
Ok, legal.
I wonder, before we go to the piece, just to listen for the ring of your open strings, since the Hofmeister is in a very friendly key, if you could try playing the notes of a D major scale while double stopping the adjacent open string like this. And actually watch to see how much you're getting it to vibrate with your bow.
Ela falou para antes de trabalhar a música, para a gente experimentar, sentir a vibração das cordas soltas, né, que é um conceito que favorece bastante na escala de Ré maior, e do jeito que ela tocou, né, mantendo uma corda solta e fazendo a corda dupla. Quer que ela mostre de novo?
Pode ser, para tentar fazer agora, né?
Lauren, do you mind showing once more?
Okay. Well, I was just looking specifically at I pulled up an IMSLP version here. So measure 48. You have a lot of really fast scale passage work. And sometimes we get, worried and tight because the tempo is very fast. It can help calm you down to practice. Sometimes gets very dissonant, but mostly adjust your intonation to the adjacent open string.
Ela falou, is it 46?
48.
Ela falou que no compasso 48 tem uma passagem de notas rápidas, que às vezes a gente fica um pouco tenso, então ela falou que esse é um exemplo que você pode estudar bem devagar, nota por nota, comparando com a corda solta. Então, começando com a corda ré solta, e quando você for tocar na corda ré, você compara com a corda sol solta. Você pode fazer uma vez esse jeito que ela fez, esse trechinho bem devagar?
Posso? É só esse trecho, né?
Isso. Isso, Bruno. Isso, desculpa. Ela falou para fazer todas as notas, mesmo se tiver uma dissonância, não tem problema.
Sempre comparando com Ré.
Isso.
Tá.
Comparando com a corda solta, sempre.
I think you understand the idea. I'm just trying to get you to listen for the resonance and the ring and realize that sometimes if your left hand presses too hard, it can sound out of tune even when your finger's in the right place, right? There's a way. Try it just on an A, because that note is going to ring very, very well.
Isso, ela falou que...
You can actually see the open string vibrating. And if you have minimum tension holding down your finger, you actually feel your fingertip buzzing because it's ringing so much by the way you're using your bow.
Ela falou que o objetivo é só para você realmente sentir a vibração das cordas soltas. Ela está falando como estudo agora, experimentando a corda Lá, o trecho na corda Lá, e o problema é, se você apertar demais a sua mão esquerda, às vezes pode soar desafinado, mesmo se estiver afinado. Então, ela falou para você experimentar uma vez, relaxando bastante a mão esquerda, até você sentir a vibração da corda na ponta dos dedos.
Legal. Tá, ok. Eu vou fazer o trecho inteiro.
Não, só na corda Lá. Do you mind just showing exactly where you play?
I just played at A, not from the piece.
Só tocando.
Third position and feeling minimum tension on my left hand. And I feel my fingertip buzzing.
Toca só a nota Lá.
Tá.
E vai relaxando o dedo até sentir a ponta do dedo vibrar.
Yeah, I think you understand. So that's easiest to do on notes where we have an open string. Something else you can try, doesn't sound very good, but if you play with minimum left hand tension, it sounds like harmonics. Okay, it sounds terrible. you need a forte bow, lots of bow, and absolute minimum tension on the left side.
Outro exercício é tocar usando bastante arco, bastante força na mão direita, mas zero força na mão esquerda. Então, ele vai soar muito feio e muita coisa como harmônico, mas isso ajuda a relaxar, para a gente atingir qual é a pressão correta que a gente precisa ter na mão esquerda, né?
Ok. Como se fosse um harmônico, né?
Right. This spot is just an example, but this is so helpful with the double stops at the bottom of the page so that your left hand can be totally relaxed and your right arm can really go and use a lot of bow. Something else that you can think also musically is the half note pulse. So yum ba da 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 da. Yum ba da 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 da. I want to get the whole group of notes as one gesture. And I can try that left hand alone. So I'm only heavy on one. Yum ba da 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 da. So try that a few times. Left hand alone to make sure that your fingers are very light and grouping in a gesture.
Isso, ela falou que esse estudo ele funciona bastante bem na base no final da folha, onde tem cordas duplas, e também pensando no pulso na mínima. Então você vai ter esse gesto forte na mínima e estudar sem a mão direita, só dedilhando no arco, para você pensar de forma bem relaxada a mão esquerda, mas mantendo o pulso sempre na mínima, ou seja, a cada 2 tempos a gente tem uma base, né, um apoio.
Legal.
Ok.
Can you try?
Quer experimentar esse trecho que ela tocou? Só a mão esquerda.
I think they're too hard, right? I hear.
Tá muito forte a sua pressão.
Very tiptoe, like a fairy dancing or something.
Só a ponta dos dedos, como se fosse uma dança de fadas, assim, bem levinho na mão esquerda.
Tá. Eu tocaria com os dedos mais arredondados ou mais com a polpa do dedo ou mais com a cabeça do dedo?
So he's asking if she should play with like really rounded fingers with the tip of the finger or a little bit more meat.
I prefer play on the pads more, but I'm just talking about his finger action is too much effort.
Tá, ela prefere mais carne, né? Só que ela tá querendo focar mais, na verdade, na atividade do dedo, né? Dedos mais leves, não tanta importância aonde ele encosta, mas só de forma leve.
Ok.
Right. So that's a way to think about it a little more musically. So yum ba da da da, yum ba da 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 da, and then you can vamp that little group of notes until it feels very effortless and easy. First with left hand alone. I'm only landing on one da 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 da, one da 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 da.
Isso, então é para pensar agrupando as notas, né, sempre na mínima. Então ela apoia a primeira nota da mínima e só vai apoiar de novo na próxima, depois de 2 tempos. Então é uma forma musical de se pensar, né, fraseologicamente falando.
Legal. Posso tentar?
Pode.
Yeah, that's it. You know, it's the difference between speaking a word like pepperoni and pepperoni, where there's a group and there's only one accent.
É a diferença entre quando você fala, ao invés de você falar sílaba por sílaba, não, você fala só, você apoia a primeira e relaxa nas outras. Então,
so in a fast passage like this, I might practice what I would call sprints, where I can do first with left hand alone. And then when that feels easy, try the next 4. And then maybe I'll try a group of 8.
isso, então ela organiza o estudo dessa maneira, né? Ela agrupa essas notas, no caso ela fez de 4 em 4, depois 8 em 8. Então você repete só esse impulso e depois você vai somando, né? Juntando os outros grupos, mas sempre repetindo parte por parte.
Ah, legal. Maravilha.
Right. And I also like doing that where I'm practicing air bow at the same time, because I want this to be very easy, almost silent. So I'm reducing the effort here, and then I can try with the bow.
Isso, então ela também estuda com o arco sobre as cordas, né, sem tocar, como ela mostrou. Então, não só a mão esquerda sozinha, fazendo esse agrupamento, mas com os arcos sozinhos para poder relaxar bem a mão esquerda. E depois só que ela coloca as duas juntas.
É isolar a mão esquerda da mão direita e vice-versa, né?
Exatamente. So he has to think like separate left hand and after right hand.
Right. I'm trying to get you to separate the two. Let's look at a different passage. So just at the opening there, if you you can get a lot more free in the right hand if you go a little bit too far in either direction. So I would do like this.
Ok, então no começo do concerto, o trecho que ela quer trabalhar, você pode exagerar mais quando você fizer o arco sobre as cordas, sem encostar nas cordas. Então, tanto no talão, você ultrapassa a altura do talão, como se o seu arco fosse mais longo, e na ponta também, para você ser mais livre na hora de tocar esses acordes.
Ok, legal.
Yeah, so if you're brave, sing too, because that also helps. But young body, but the point is use too much bow and absolute minimum tension with the left hand.
Então, ela falou, se você for corajoso, experimente uma vez, exagerando bastante. Então, o foco é exagerar muito o arco, mais do que você usaria, e relaxar muito a mão esquerda. E aí você canta a parte da viola, mas sem tocar. Experimente uma vez.
Tá.
Vai.
That's very good. You're brave. So the point is, you know, your big arm, these motions are coming from your back and they're continuous, even in the places where you have to articulate. Your whole arm motion is continuous, right? And that helps get it moving. And also singing, it makes sure that your airstream is continuous, that you're not clenching your neck or holding your breath in between.
Ela falou que o ponto é você exagerar muito mais no arco, não tocar o que você tocaria, mas é justamente para ampliar esse movimento. Lembrando que o movimento vem das costas, né? É uma musculatura que vem lá de trás, para a gente usar mais arco, né? E mesmo quando é pam, 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 esse trecho das colcheias ou o trecho mais rápido, você exagerar mais.
Tá.
E o cantar é justamente para a gente manter o pé no chão em relação à nossa respiração, né, e as frases. Então pode, experimenta mais uma vez, mas exagerando muito mais a quantidade de água, mesmo se passar da altura das cordas.
Tá.
Can you try the passage that you just sang? Playing now, but nice and free, open, also breathing.
Agora, tocando, ele vai exagerar bastante no ar e na respiração.
Perdão, não entendi o que você falou.
Agora, experimenta uma vez tocando esse mesmo trecho, exagerando bastante no movimento de arco e na respiração.
Tá.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I think in this opening, if you're keeping track of, again, half notes, even if you conduct yourself as you're singing, it keeps you from getting too worried about all the small notes.
Isso, se você... Sorry. E se você pensar mais na mínima, na pulsação a cada duas, para você valorizar mais esse impulso e relaxar mais as notas curtas, né?
Legal.
Yeah, let's try. Do you have letter F, the version that's on the A string?
Tem letra F?
That version, that one.
Não sei se é a mesma edição. A letra F dela é esse trecho mais agudo.
Essa já é a segunda parte, não é?
Provavelmente.
Measure 117.
Para pegar daí, né?
Isso.
Tá.
So could you try the same thing here? I would like for all of this to stay still, but your bow to move very freely. So you might think of this shape with your bow stroke. Instead of bum, bum, bum.
Isso. Ela falou para experimentar uma vez com o seu arco mais exagerado, mas a viola sem se mexer muito. Então, sem levar a viola na direção do arco, né? Manter a viola mais estabilizada e o arco mais livre.
Quando eu penso em fazer mais arco, eu me perco um pouco no tempo. No foco do exercício, eu posso fazer isso ou não? Seria legal sempre manter o mesmo tempo? Quando eu estou pensando em muito arco, né? Exageradamente.
Yeah, when he thinks about using more bow, he loses the tempo, the beat. So he says if it's okay or he should really keep tracking of the tempo.
I'm just asking you to air bow this time. It might be too much to do it once, but I often like to practice with my feet also. So. Since you're not making any noise, you might as well try.
Ok, então não se preocupe com o tempo agora, mas ela quer que você faça uma vez com um arco sem encostar na corda, né? Só o movimento do arco, e tente pulsar a mínima nos seus pés. Então, na mínima você vai para um pé, esse balanço que ela está fazendo. Entendeu? Então tente fazer tudo ao mesmo tempo. Ou seja, toca com air bowing, né, esse arco fora da corda, e a pulsação da mínima nos pés.
Tá.
E se conseguir cantar, acho que é melhor ainda.
Pimpari, dorori, ti, 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 rarirerori, tirata. Pam,
Right.
pam, 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 pam. I hate tudo.
Yeah, something else to try just to make sure that your breathing is continuous. You can try while playing, go. And sometimes if you're doing something difficult, like a shift or a string crossing, you'll hear the air stop. We want to make it continuous.
Ela está preocupada com a sua respiração. Então, para ter certeza que você está respirando de forma... porque muitas vezes a gente para de respirar, né? A gente prende a respiração quando tem alguma mudança de posição ou alguma coisa difícil, passagem rápida, e a gente tensiona tudo. Então, uma maneira de estudar também é soltando o ar, igual ela fez, né? Ficar... E ela falou, você vai perceber que numa mudança de posição, num trecho difícil, você vai parar de ouvir a respiração. Então, cada vez que você respira, você solta o ar fazendo barulho, aí você consegue se fiscalizar se você está realmente respirando o tempo todo.
Legal. Ok. É difícil.
Hard.
That's just for an awareness. The goal is to get continuous, not affected by what you're doing with the playing. And of course, when you run out of air, just take another breath. Something else that can help, it's kind of silly, but a lot of times you relax and breathe more naturally if you just make a big smile with an open mouth. So can also help you release any tension. And whenever we have these yum bum bum, yum bum bum, yum bum bum bum, it helps me anyway to say ha 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 as if I'm laughing. Ha, 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 I guess because I imitate that kind of laughing sound on the bow articulation. I was just looking at the 3 pickups to 121 if you'd like to try that.
Ela estava olhando nesse 121, na cruz, mas o que ela disse, essa questão do ar, de fazer o barulho soltando o ar, é justamente para a gente não interferir a nossa respiração quando tem trecho difícil. E, obviamente, quando acabar o ar, a gente respira normalmente. Aí, outra coisa que ela faz, que ela acha até engraçado, meio doido, que é sorrir bastante e com a boca até um pouco aberta e relaxada nesses trechos todos. Então, tocar literalmente exagerando esse sorriso, e nesses trechos, por exemplo, que tem esse pam, 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 ela faz essa, como se fosse uma risada, né, para justamente, tudo isso ela fala que são coisas que ajudam na hora de tocar, para relaxar, para soltar as mãos, manter a fluência da respiração, tudo isso é um conjunto de coisas que vão ajudando a gente, que ela acha que ela sente que você está um pouco preso, um pouco limitado. Se você quiser experimentar, ficar na cruz do 121. Como
Yeah, if you're trying the smiling way, make sure that it's open enough that you can breathe. So with some teeth, not just...
O sorriso, ele é com a boca aberta mesmo, mostrando os dentes. Não é só sorrindo com os lábios fechados, né? Para realmente exagerar.
Ok.
One more time. Just big smile.
Isso. Faz mais uma vez com um sorrisão no rosto.
Dá vontade de rir.
Yeah.
just like laughing.
Anyway, it's silly, but sometimes that's what you need to physically relax and free up the sound a little bit. All these are just different strategies for getting you to breathe, getting you to feel a larger pulse, and just relax and enjoy your sound. So I've seen some people also just put a pencil here, to keep from clamping. Also, you could try that, but sometimes it makes you drool.
Ela falou que tudo isso é para realmente relaxar, você sentir a pulsação, né, e relaxar. Algumas vezes também ela falou que algumas pessoas colocam um lápis entre os dentes para não apertar muito, e só que tem que tomar cuidado para não babar.
Okay. Do you have any other questions? This is just a lot of different ideas for getting you to open up a little bit.
Você tem alguma pergunta, Bruna? São só várias ideias que ela tá passando para realmente aproveitar mais a sua, você aproveitar o próprio som, né? E as frases. Alguma pergunta?
Não. Na verdade, sobre a tensão do dedão, que às vezes eu tento tirar a tensão do dedão relaxando, só que aí eu sinto que eu trago a tensão para a boca na mordida, e fazendo isso. Quando eu penso em tirar a tensão do dedão, sei lá, alguma dica, alguma coisa do tipo?
If you're worried about your thumb squeezing too much, two things I could recommend. If you find a note that has a harmonic underneath, so practice bouncing your finger to go back and forth between the harmonic and the played note so that you can find the minimum left hand tension. And then also some shifting exercises. You can put your thumb under. And that helps relax any tension. You can also, I'm just playing a little bit of Andra check, but you can also practice moving it back and forth in kind of an extreme way. So that your thumb learns to move like a finger. And also maybe Kreutzer 9. This is odd, but if you put your viola between, again, your thumb is very free to move all over the place. Just a little bit, a few measures. And then you can bring your other finger around. Again, it helps get this wrist straight and frees up any tension you have between these two fingers.
Então, a primeira coisa que ela mostrou foi o harmônico, né? Então, pegue algumas posições com harmônicos, aí você faz o harmônico, relaxa, aperta, né? Para pensar. A segunda coisa foi colocar o polegar daquela forma dobrada embaixo do espelho, do braço, né? E fazer mudança de posição. Isso. E a terceira foi essa forma estranha que ela falou de colocar a viola entre o indicador e o segundo dedo, isso, e fazer o Kreutzer número 9, para você ter o polegar bem relaxado. Ela falou, faz só o comecinho, assim, estuda só o comecinho para experimentar. And Lauren, one thing he asked before was, he said when he tries to release the thumb to relax, he put the pressure on the chin, so on the teeth. So sometimes he knows it's stiff, the thumb, but he tries to relax, and it goes to the chin, the tension.
Well, it's a lot of times it's kind of a balancing act, but a lot of times we're using 100% effort with the head and 100% effort with your left hand instead of only 50-50. So you have to figure out how to release. If I can find a bit of a wall, another way to work on this would be if you put your scroll against the wall ending. So again, it's supported by the wall so that my arm can be very free and easy. Or some kind of bookshelf can work also.
Ok. Então eu perguntei para ela, Bruno, que você falou que você relaxa o então, e a atenção vai para o queixo, né? Vai para a mandíbula. Então ela falou, ela sugeriu essa. Você pode apoiar na parede para ter o seu braço esquerdo bem relaxado, ou apoiar numa estante, né? Assim fica de baixo para cima. Eu geralmente coloco uma flanela e apoio a voluta na parede, assim. Mas são também. Porque ela falou que muitas vezes é difícil ter 100% de relaxamento nos dois. O ideal é ter. Você poder, às vezes, transferir, na verdade, né? Apertar um e soltar o outro.
Maravilha.
Ok.
Thank you. It's good to hear you. I'm glad the internet worked for long enough.
Yeah.
Bruno, obrigado, viu, Bruno?
Obrigado, professor. Tchau, tchau.
Parabéns aí, tchau. Marcos, você pode aparecer aí, pô. Já vai despedir da turma. Lauren, thanks a lot.
Thank
Everything
you.
worked out okay. So that was wonderful.
Thank you. I hope it was understandable.
No, it was completely.
Okay.
Thanks, Marco, for translating it.
You're welcome. Very nice to meet you, Lauren.
You too. Thank you so much.
Wonderful masterclass.
Thank you.
It looks like you understand some Portuguese, right?
No.
Because you said about the thumb and you're so like.
Well, I understood what he was talking about anyway.
That's true. All right, so I'm just gonna say bye to everyone. So if you can just hang on a second.
Sure.
Pessoal, então é isso. Chegamos ao final da Masterclass e, na verdade, para muitos, chegamos ao final do primeiro envio online. A gente quer agradecer bastante a presença de todos vocês, terem ficado até aqui com a gente, até agora, por todas as perguntas, por todos que tocaram maravilhosamente bem, os que não puderam, vai ter oportunidades aí para frente. Agradecer ao professor Marco Cato pela força aí, pela tradução, professora Camila, Fábio, professor Vitor, que ajudou aí bastante também na questão do marketing, enfim, né? E pedir para vocês, associem-se à Brave, né? Para que a gente possa continuar fazendo isso, né? Pelos próximos anos aí. Para aqueles que estão adimplentes, com pagamento em dia, hoje às 14 horas a gente tem a Assembleia Geral Ordinária Anual da Brave, junto com a eleição para a nova diretoria. Então, daqui um pouquinho a gente está de volta, vai ser pelo Google Meet. Eu acho que todos que já estão adimplentes receberam o link, né, Marco? Foi enviado para todos.
Já.
Então, muito obrigado a todos pela participação, por estar aí todos esses dias com a gente. Espero que vocês tenham gostado. O ano que vem, se Deus quiser, vamos ter o encontro presencial aí. Tá joia? Então, é isso. Marco, obrigado mais uma vez.
Prazer.
E agradecer ao professor Razeira, né, a professora Hela, a professora Ronise, que também participaram aí, e os convidados internacionais também. Então é isso, pessoal. Tchau e dê o like, inscreva-se no nosso canal, comente se vocês gostaram, divulguem aí nas redes sociais, enfim. Tá joia? Um abraço a todos, boa tarde, bom feriado.